Welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, February 20th, 2019. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. SVG now has 2 smart hospitals in operation. The Chateaubelair Smart Hospital is the second smart healthcare facility that was delivered to St. Vincent and the Grenadines following on the successes of the Georgetown Smart Hospital project. The Chateaubelair Smart Hospital was handed over to the Ministry of Health yesterday afternoon by the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO. The facility, which was renovated to the tune of $2 million, has already seen a reduction on its water and electricity bills. Larissa Pugsley-Kidd tells us more in this report.
No other country in the world has 2 smart facilities. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is top of the class. Why do we call it smart? You've heard. We call it smart because it is more resilient to natural disasters with its structure, with its hurricane shutters, with its human resource capacities. But it's also environmentally friendly.
That was PAHO's representative Godfrey Shreb at yesterday's handing over of the Chateaubelair Smart Hospital. PAHO and the United Kingdom's Department for International Development, DFID, funded the project. DFID representative Richard Carter expressed satisfaction with the standards of the hospital, noting that it has set the bar for the region.
So 22 persons from a range of disciplines in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are now familiar and can conduct the very detailed and comprehensive audits. A toolkit is also online for anyone who is interested in having a checklist or a guide as to what to consider.
The Chateaubelair Hospital has systems that monitors the energy and water consumption, and it has a disaster management plan. Alex Williams, PAHO country supervisor, said that $6,000 EC was so far saved due to the solar panels that were installed. In addition, the hospital has scored an A for its safety.
Potable water storage capacity was increased from 600 to 9,000 gallons. Rainwater harvesting is now used to supply a non-potable water storage tank. There was the installation of a standby generator, which has the fuel capacity for 72 hours. Improvements were made to the disabled access throughout the facility. There was the installation of a fire alarm system, an additional emergency exit on the northern side of the building. Box drains were constructed around the facility to improve drainage.
Minister of Health Luke Brown was in high praise for the project funding agencies, noting that Chateaubelair has already been struck by disaster and the hospital will definitely improve medical care for the residents.
This is precisely the kind of facility that will be welcomed by the community of Chateaubelair. The people here know what it is like to be affected by a natural disaster or an extreme weather event, and what it is like to lose a loved one as a result of it, and what it is like for you to suffer from the water supply to your home being cut off for an extended period of time.
The Chateaubelair Hospital will continue to be upgraded in the coming year. 5 more hospitals across the country are expected to be upgraded to smart hospitals over the next few years. The areas identified are Beckway, Myru, Union Island, Barrowley and Stubbs. The Georgetown Smart Hospital was the first to be handed over by PAHO under its Smart Hospitals project, which aims to make health centers green, safe and able to function during and after natural disasters. Reporting for SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
44 pediatric surgeries were conducted here by specialist doctors under the 5th mission this year by the World Pediatric Project. The World Pediatric Project, the WPP, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment and support from donors, continue to transform lives of children in SVG and across the Eastern Caribbean. The WPP 5th mission for 2019 included both eye and plastic surgeries, which were conducted during the period February 10th to the the 15. The children who participated in the surgeries were children up to the age of 21. Executive Director for the Eastern Caribbean World Pediatric Project, Lauren McIntosh, told SVG-TV News several clinics were held leading up to the eye and plastic surgeries at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital.
Eye mission, the pediatric eye mission, as well as the plastic surgery mission. The pediatric ophthalmology mission was led by Dr. Donna Brown. Dr. Brown would have seen 48 patients on clinic day, one of them being a regional patient from St. Kitts, and there were 22 surgeries conducted during the week. We also had the plastic surgery. We had two teams working concurrently during the week. The second team was the plastic surgery team, and that was led by Dr. Nadia Blanchet. Both teams are out of Richmond, Virginia, and Dr. Blanchet would have seen 41 children at clinic on Sunday, 6 regional children coming from St. Lucia, Dominica, and St. Kitts, and she would have conducted 22 surgeries during the week. So it was quite a busy week for World Pediatric Project, and that is our 5th mission for the year, January and February, having seen 3 other missions before, prior to those 2.
McIntosh said that the doctors of the eye and plastic surgery mission have been coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines for 20 years now.
These 2 missions have actually been one of the first 2 missions that have come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines on the World Pediatric Project. Both Dr. Brown and Dr. Blanchet have been coming to St. Vincent for about 20 years now. And they have come on board with World Pediatric Project, and they provide services to Vincentians at large, but in particular to children who are on the World Pediatric Project. Plastic surgery mission has actually been coming for 20 years as well. The first mission that we had was earlier this year, which was the craniofacial plastic surgery mission, and that focuses just on facial anomalies, whereas Dr. Blanchet would have done more general plastic surgery cases.
Okay, so
McIntosh said that the plastic surgeons dealt with some very serious cases, however, all were successfully completed.
Yes, so Dr. Blanchet would have also dealt with some of the cleft palates and the cleft lips, as well as if there were also lumps that may have been seen in teenagers or enlarged cysts. She would have also helped to remove those. For Dr. Blanchet's mission, yes, the majority of her patients would have been Vincentians. She had 6 regional cases. Dr. Brown's mission as well was predominantly Vincentian children seen, as sometimes they have various pediatric ophthalmologists in some of the other Eastern Caribbean islands. So most of our ophthalmology patients are from St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The WPP Eastern Caribbean Executive Director expressed thanks to the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment for its continued partnership with the WPP to host various medical missions here in SVG.
For the year, it may be difficult for me to do an estimate, but we are probably nearing 100 children having received surgeries from these 5 missions during the year. Yes, so all of the surgeries were conducted at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital, and we really have to thank the Ministry of Health for always partnering with us, as well as the staff at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital who always support us. And in relation to the eye mission specifically, Dr. Sharice Grant-Ledger was also able to ascertain some training, as she would have worked alongside Dr. Donna Brown in conducting some of the surgeries. So thank you to all of those who would have helped out at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital.
McIntosh said the WPP will continue to mobilize pediatric team with an orthopedic mission slated for April 7th. She's encouraging parents and guardians of children who may need to be assessed to contact the WPP office at telephone number 1784-451-2989. That's telephone number 1784-451-2989 for further information. In other news, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has made it clear that he is not involved in the management and running of elections in SVG. The Prime Minister made a statement as he responded to a question at yesterday's news conference relating to the ongoing election petitions hearing. Given clarity on the matter, the Prime Minister said the petitions are against the Supervisor of Elections who holds an independent office.
Do you read the section in the Constitution dealing with the Supervisor of Elections? She takes no instructions from anybody or any directions in relation to the conduct of her work. She has the law, the Representation of the People Act, the regulations made thereunder, and there's a body of civil law. Good, which has interpreted different things. She has told everybody repeatedly, when I came to this office, when she went to the office of the supervisor election, she got advice from different preceding supervisors of elections, and she read these things, and she's consulted the Attorney General, and she's up to speed. The only way the government is involved is that if you're bringing a petition against the supervisor election and election officials, you join the Attorney General, because the Attorney General is the chief legal officer of the Crown, of the state. Not the ULP government is there, you know.
The Prime Minister also explained that the involvement of Montgomery Daniel and Sir Louis Straker in the case is not as government ministers, but individuals who ran on the Unity Labour Party ticket during the December 2015 general elections.
But Montgomery Daniel and Louis Straker, their lawyers, government doesn't have anything to do with them, you know. They have to make arrangements for themselves. God, they're not sued. They're not brought in the action by they're not brought into the action as ministers, you know. They're brought in as individuals who ran. So I think we need to be very clear. I know the shorthand, government lawyers and government this. So let me make it plain. Let me make it 100% clear. I don't know if I have not spoken with clarity. I don't got nothing to do with what they're doing in the courts.
The Prime Minister said statements calling for the government to get involved in the matter is crazy.
Notices. Do you know where I get involved in the election? When I advised the Governor General on the dissolution of Parliament. And I said to him the date for nomination. I advised him on the date for nomination. And I advised him on the date for election. And that's that. So when you now come to ask me about government, involve myself in what? All I do, and I read all the elections, say the elections are free and fair and reflected the will of the people, all who came in. There's an election law as to how you do certain things. It's a crazy solution. You come in to ask me to intervene in a case which is going on, to do something which a petitioner would want, which the court may not be allowing. Am I a crazy man? What is my standing? I have no local standard in that. It's bizarre. That's the kind of a thing, with great respect, that people talking when they don't fully grasp what this process is about and what is taking place.
SVG will continue to support the fundamental principles of non-intervention and non-interference in the internal affairs of Venezuela. The position was reiterated by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves at yesterday's news conference as he spoke on the ongoing political turmoil in Venezuela and the implications of any military intervention by foreign countries. Bavin Oliver tells us more in this report.
Solutions are available to bring an end to the impasse in Venezuela. peaceful dialogue, or violence. So said Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. The South American country is facing serious social and economic woes, seen with high inflation and shortage of food and medical supplies. The country is also facing a serious political stalemate, as the leader of the legislature, Juan Guaido, has declared himself acting president with the support of a number of international countries, including the United States. A move which has been condemned by President Nicolas Maduro, who has made it clear that he is the constitutionally elected president of Venezuela. Weighing in on the issue at yesterday's news conference, PM Gonsalves said dialogue is the best solution for Venezuela at this time and warned against military intervention.
If you have a civil war there and foreign intervention, a lot of people are going to be killed. And it's going to destabilize this part of the world. There's some people don't know what they're wishing for, you know. You'll have a lot of refugees coming up. Because people will not only be going by land, they're coming by sea too.
PM Gonsalves said his repeated calls for non-intervention is grounded on the principle of international law.
This is not a position in favor of Maduro or against Maduro. This is a position in defense of international law. Now, there's a thing called international law and there's a thing called domestic law. One of the reasons we have domestic law is for the strong, either in resources or in physical strength, to take advantage of you and me and beat us up. We have a law to protect us. The same way there's a law called international law.
Using the example of former Haitian President Jean-Bertrand Aristide, he highlighted how dangerous it is to support the removal of a democratically elected official through non-democratic means.
How you could go and a man is elected president? How you could go and kidnap him before you don't like it? So somebody could walk in here right now and kidnap me and take me away, and that will be right? Well, if I approve of it in Haiti and in Venezuela, you know, I mean, I put it to the ridiculous because I have to illustrate the principle.
Meanwhile, today the Venezuelan government said it closed the country's maritime border with Dutch Caribbean islands due to the opposition's plan to bring in humanitarian aid this Saturday to alleviate an economic crisis it denies exists. Vice President Delcy Rodriguez said Venezuela's relations with the island of Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire were under revision and the border closure would be in place for an undefined period of time. For SVG-TV Evening News, I am Bavin Oliver.
More has to be done to preserve the Garifuna heritage in SVG. So said President of the Garifuna Heritage Foundation, David Daki Williams, at the launch of this year's National Heroes and Heritage Month activities on Tuesday. Williams, who has been advocating for heightened awareness on the Garifuna culture, said that from his observation, some people are interested and keen to learn more about the culture, while others are not.
And acceptance of the Garifuna history and culture in St. Vincent, I would say, is about 50-50. There are many people who are thriving to help to uplift and help to revive the culture and those remnants of the culture to sustain them in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And for an organization like TGHF, we have dedicated, up to this point, all our efforts to the reclaiming of the culture and to share the value of the culture with Vincentians.
While he welcomed the month of activities held in March for Heroes and Heritage Month, Williams said it is quite disheartening that only then that there is an increase in awareness on the Garifuna heritage and culture.
this history, this heritage mean anything to us. But even for those who appreciate, they do not have information. We are dedicated to finding the resources to get that information out to that public that is not appreciative, and for those who are, for them to be more greatly enlightened.
This year's National Heroes and Heritage Month celebrations will kick off with a cassava food competition on the 6th of March, followed by a school folk festival on Friday, March 8th at the Victoria Park. The international summit organized by the Garifuna Heritage Foundation and the UWI Open Campus will be held from the 11th to the 14th of March. An exhibition film series, food, dance and music fest will also form part of the celebration activities. The organizers for various components of the festival give an insight into the different activities and their importance to cultural pride and heritage tourism.
The program is being extended to include what is being dubbed the cassava food competition. The theme, Windward meets Kingstown. And this is being held on Wednesday, March 6th, 2019 at the Kingstown Technical Institute from 8 o'clock in the morning to about midday. Now, what does it entail? It entails students creating dishes from cassava and presenting them.
Our theme for this year is exploring the Garifuna and Kalinago heritage and culture, cultural survival, youth and opportunities for heritage tourism. Hence you see the importance of having someone like Ms. Britton deliver the keynote address. It is hoped that the conference will create interest and pride in the Garifuna heritage and explore the possibilities of heritage tourism around the Garifuna and Kalinago culture.
That were organized in partnership with the SVG National Trust and the Alliance Française, the Old Public Library will be displaying a series of publicly and privately owned documents and documentaries, art pieces, artifacts, crafts, and more on the indigenous peoples of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. These items are presently collected from local holders of historical artifacts, the SVG National Public Libraries, local and regional historians, bookstores, craft producers, artists, and we do still invite the general public to contact the Garifuna Heritage Foundation office before March 1st if they wish to contribute to this exhibition.
Mali is a presentation that will touch all of us because most, if not all of us in St. Vincent would have gone through this experience. The play seeks to use elements of the Garifuna culture to explore issues affecting women and the struggles that these women and community have in resolving these issues.
It is important to emphasize this festival is not a competition, but as we continually seek to keep our students motivated, school students will gain awards. Some of these awards include Best Gemology, Most Outstanding Garifuna Song, Most Outstanding Garifuna Dance, Most Outstanding Garifuna Choral Speech, Most Creative Presentation, Best Overall Garifuna Theme Presentation.
The Rajasthani folk singers will be performing here tomorrow evening at an Indian cultural showcase at the Russell's Auditorium. The showcase will be hosted by the SVG Indian Heritage Foundation and the Indian Ambassador to Suriname. The 6-member folk group will feature a number of traditional instruments, including the kamacha, a 17-string bowed instrument made of mango wood. President of the SVG India Heritage Foundation, Junior Bacchus, told SVG-TV News that he is looking forward to a great showcase of the Indian folk culture.
are some of the audience that will be targeted for the event that is happening?
Well, we have targeted the entire population of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but we have sent special invitation to the Honorable Prime Minister. He is going to be a guest at the event. He will bring a message. We have targeted the Indian business community. We have targeted the schools. There's quite a number of Indian students here at the various universities. So we expect to see quite a number of them coming to the event, because they will better able to relate to some of the kind of music, the traditional Indian music. So we look forward to the different universities where there are Indian students for them to come out. There's also quite a number of Indian doctors here. We have sent invitations to them, and we expect them to also be there.
Bacchus said that the Rajasthani group will be going to different countries to showcase the Indian folk culture, and that they are happy that the group choose to come to SVG as part of their tour.
And can you tell us about the different places, the different countries that these singers would be performing?
Yes, well, they are here as guests of the Suriname-based Indian Embassy. And as the Indian Embassy based in Suriname is responsible for these other islands, so they include St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's why they are coming here. They also include, they have responsibility for St. Lucia, for Barbados. I know that they had performed in Chile on the weekend. I have saw some of the videos. So they would not leave India, all the way from India, to come to do one show. We had just happened to be a part of that journey, and we may hear that they're performing all with the way up to the United States. I do not have a full detailed program for them, but we are happy that St. Vincent is part of it.
Bacchus said the SVG Indian Foundation will also be doing its part to promote the Indian culture across SVG.
Of the executive of the foundation will also be traveling down to the leeward side of the island, where we are going to the homes of Indians and pay some visit to them. On the 24th of March, we will do the same thing on the windward side. We are going to meet the people in the Indian community and make sure that they are aware of the opportunities available between India and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There are quite a number of scholarships available that the Indian government is availing to us here in St. Vincent. We need to take advantage of them. We, from the foundation, have someone who is coordinating scholarship application process in the person of Tamika Brown. She's an executive member focusing entirely on education. There are also opportunities for Indians to go back to India to discover their roots. So there's quite a number of things that are available, but don't forget, on the 2nd of June, we will also be hosting the Indian Arrival Day program, and we are expecting an Indian group, cultural group that is, coming in from Suriname, dancers and musicians. They will be coming in to join us on the 2nd of June at Warako for Indian Arrivals Day celebration.